Hey guys, my name is Mandy. I'm an artist here on YouTube and on TikTok, Instagram, all the places. And this channel is really just a chance for me to talk about things I'm learning, to share my artistic journey, to share some of the work I've made. And today I just really wanted to talk about Audacity. It's kind of been on my mind this week, like looking over my career and the things that I've done. And currently as an artist, I feel like I'm just learning things at such an accelerated rate. Like I'm just really proud of myself. And nobody gave me permission to do this. Nobody told me I was good at it. You know how in high school there's like those 4 kids that are always like, they always win the superlatives, like most artistic. Like they're the 4 kids in high school that like, they're always the ones, you know, that are the art kids. I was never that. And so the fact that not only am I doing art, but like, I'd really like to share a little bit of my story because I've done so many things in my life that I really had no business doing. And I think really a lot of it is just having the courage and the audacity to go for the things that light you up and for the things that you're truly passionate about and the things that like you just know deep in your heart, like there's that little inkling of like, I know I could do that. So let's just kind of get into my story. I was a dancer as a kid, and that was like well and good. You know, that was my lane, was in the box. My older sister was a singer. My middle sister was an artist. I was the dancer of the family. Done, done, done. Then I moved to Los Angeles to pursue acting and comedy. I did that for like 6 to 8 years. During that time, I supplemented my income by working at cafes, coffee shops, bakeries, and I'd always baked since I was a little kid. And I kind of came out of the womb like a production baker. Like it wasn't just like, I made some cookies for you guys at the pool. It was like, I made 13 different kinds of cookies and I made 14 different platters. Like it was just very, I was a little psychotic about it. But I realized that like through working through these places, at these places, that the stuff that I made was at the very least comparable to what was being made in these bakeries. And I was just like, why the F am I working for other people when I could do this for myself? And so I started a side baking business, and I just want to honor, you know, that my younger self who is trying so hard at so many things. And man, like I really went for it. When I took acting, you know, I was in like all the classes all the time. I was constantly performing. You know, like when I do something, I put all of me into it. And I'm just like, I want to be the most professional. I want to be the best. I want to sign up for all the classes. Like, I want to always be like the top dog. You know, I'm not in competition with anybody else, but with myself. And so I started this side baking business, and I was just like, you know, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I didn't go to culinary school, you know? And so like, there was just like, you know, if you had just gone to culinary school, or if you had just blah, 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 or, you know, there's just a million reasons why I kept telling myself, you shouldn't do this. Like you shouldn't. And, you know, am I a baker? Am I a comedian? Like what is it? Am I an actress? Am I, you know, like I felt like I so needed to be in this box of this one thing. And back in the day, you know, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't niching, there wasn't brands, like there was none of that shit. It was just, you had no direction whatsoever. You had nobody telling you like, it's okay to be an artist. And so I did that for a little bit, and then I burned out. Then I moved to the mountains of Washington in the middle of nowhere. My aunt pretty much just texted me and was like, hey, or emailed me, we didn't have text at the time. Hey, why did you move, you know, back to Los Angeles? You could move to the middle of nowhere and be a baker, which is something I'd always wanted to do. I had never actually worked as a baker. I had only worked in coffee shops, like in management. And so this was the opportunity to be a baker. And I was just like, fuck, like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm good enough for this. Like, I don't know, like I can do it at home, but like, I don't know if, like, can I hack it? You know, I'm not Anthony Bourdain. Like, but I went and it was amazing. I picked stuff up like that. Like when you're passionate about something, I just feel like it's almost easy because it's like, I don't know if it's like a past life or something where yourself is just like, I remember doing this, but I did that. And I was like, I'm so glad I had the audacity to go for that. And that I didn't just say like, oh, I need more experience, or, oh, like I didn't go to culinary school. So I did that. Then like, let's cut to, I promise we're almost done here. I had always wanted a DSLR camera. I had always wanted to get into photography. And anyone, like every single year for my birthday, for Christmas, I would ask for like a real camera, like a legit one. And I always kept getting like the same point and shoot. And I wanted like like the real one, you know, like and finally, like I had gotten married, and I remember I had saved exactly $1,500, and there was this post on the forums in Washington, and there was a camera, a Nikon DSLR, a whole kit for exactly $1,500. And I just knew I was supposed to get married, you know, like I was supposed to be saving money for a wedding and, you know, just all this stuff. And it was like the only time in my life I had ever saved like $1,500. I've been broke my entire life. But I just went for it. And I told my, now he's my ex-husband, but I told my fiance at the time, I know that we're getting married, but like, I feel like everything in me is supposed to buy this camera. And thankfully he was just like, okay, it's your money. And I bought that camera, and let me tell you, it was just like finding a piece of, like I could cry. Like it was like finding a piece of myself. Like these puzzle pieces of like, oh, acting and comedy, oh, baking, oh, photography, oh, like all of these things made up who I was. And I didn't need to fit into a box of like, am I a baker, or am I a this, or am I a that? Like I just went for it. I couldn't not. I don't know. There was just like something in me. And I just took to it very well. I went to India with a friend. That was a whole miracle for another time. But she was a photographer, and she kind of like taught me how to use it on this trip. And maybe I'll put some of those photos in here. We got married, and then we moved. I had my daughter, and I was like the stay-at-home mom, pulling my eyeballs out of like just feeling all of the feelings of motherhood. And I was like, I'm going to start a photography business. And I invested like 10 grand, probably, maybe not that much, maybe like a few, like 5,000 grand maybe, into this photography business. And everyone's like, are you sure you want to do this? Like they hadn't seen my pictures yet. Like they knew I could take like decent pictures, but I didn't know how to post people. I didn't know how to do anything. I found Sue Bryce online, and she basically is like, here's the ABCD of how you start a business. And I was just like, plug in the formula, I'm doing it. And I took some amazing photographs that I'm like super proud of, just by having the audacity, just by having, like, again, like I just want to reiterate, like nobody has ever given me permission. People have said I'm talented, but nobody ever said like, I believe in you. Like, I saw this show, and like, you are gonna, you know, like you're gonna make it one day. Like, people have said stuff to me, but like not in a way that really gets in there, in a way that makes you feel like anybody fucking believes in you. And I felt very alone on my journey, very alone taking these, you know, audacious steps, because nobody was like pulling me along the way, holding my hand, saying like, yes, spend the money, invest, like you've always been broke your whole life, like go for it again. Instead, like what society tells you is that you're irresponsible, you are wayward, you don't know what you're doing, you have no plan, you blah, blah, blah. You know, like it's so much shame, so much stay in your box, stay in your lane, put your head down, get the corporate job. This wasn't a lifestyle, like these kind of lifestyles weren't available. You know, it wasn't an option. Like now we have social media and so much has opened up. It's incredible, but it was just by having the audacity. And you know, there's like 12,000 other things I've done in my life, like buying a guitar, playing the drums, like now I'm a singer-songwriter, like just like all the stuff that I love to do, just by saying like, I'm just gonna do it. And then finally, I started painting after I got my divorce. That was just like another thing that I was like, I've always wanted to do it. I've always wanted to buy a big canvas and, you know, throw paint around and like see what I could come up with and, you know, see if I was any good and just like express myself in that way. And I'm blown away Like, I know I haven't had great success or whatever, but I'm blown away by all the things that I've done, by all the talents that I have. And it's not just like, I'm talented. It's like, those things are joys in my life. Like, I could cry thinking about it. I love to create, and I love to express myself. And there's a lot of people in here. There's a lot of like iterations. Like, you know, I can be very like golden retriever. I can be, you know, I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. I can be very dark and mysterious. Like, I can, I love it all. And through like all of these different avenues, I have gotten to be able to express myself just by having the audacity to say, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. And now, and the reason why I was thinking about all of this week is because I'm looking at my art, and I started painting a few years ago, but like then I had to stop for a year and a half because I was living with a friend. And then, you know, I was just working a ton. So like really, it's probably been over the past year that I've kind of really committed to making this like a pretty serious focus. I'm learning at 47, going through perimenopause, that my body cannot physically handle a corporate grind anymore. It cannot do what it once could do. You know, working 60 hours in the food industry, like, oh my God. Just the thought of it, like my eye starts twitching. And art is one of those things that is a hustle, like a side hustle, that actually helps regulate my nervous system, helps keep my cortisol levels down. It doesn't make my fingers puffy, my face, but you know, like, it actually helps reduce all the inflammation in my body because it's meditative. It's so relaxing. It's just, and yes, there's like pressure to be good and stuff. You know, there's always going to be those demons in my head, but it's the one thing that I could potentially make money at that I feel like doesn't harm me. And so, long story short, I've been looking over, you know, the past year and just like how much I've improved in such a short amount of time just by like going for it. And out of all the things in the world, like if I end up being successful at this, it will be such a shock because like my middle sister is so much more talented than I am at art. Like, oh my God, like she's an artist. I don't know if I've talked about her before in here, but she's just got like a mind, like she's always just been sketching, doodling. She can write upside down and backwards in cursive with both hands at the same time, going like in opposite direction. Like she just, you know, is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in that like artistic way. The thing is like, she's not doing anything with her art. You know, she's always been too tired or is, you know, been too focused on her job or, you know, working as a bartender. Like just all these things have kept her from her art. And I know in a lot of ways that's like, it kills me. It just like kills me to watch people unwilling to put themselves out there or to try or to just like, that's a whole story for another time. But here I am, like if I'm freaking successful at this and I sold paintings to strangers, you know, like this isn't just like paintings for my mom and, you know, friends commissions anymore. Like this is like real people like buying my stuff that they actually like my work. And that is so freaking cool. All just because I had the audacity. Nobody said like, here's some paintbrushes, you're going to be really good at this. You know, I that was not the path for me that was chosen in high school. You know, like that, I didn't have that superlative. I've got no business doing this. None. Just out of sheer curiosity and audacity, passion and joy for trying something. So all that to say, I'll show some work probably maybe of like how far I've come. Actually, let me hold on. Okay, so real quick, like this is like a painting I did like a year ago. You know, she's got some cute curly cues and stuff. I don't know, just, and this is an abstract I did, one of the very first ones I did. And I used to, you guys, I loved this painting. And now I'm like, where's the focal point? Where's the depth? Where's the texture? Like where, like it's just very one note, whatever. And now this is what I'm painting now, which I'm very proud of. Which way? This is a mixed media collage. You can buy it on my website. I also have prints available. And then this guy I just finished. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the light. It's kind okay, in like a year. Seriously. And am I, you know, Van Gogh and my Picasso? I'm not saying that I am. But I'm never going to be them if I don't keep going. And I look forward to like looking back on these paintings and being like, wow, I thought those were really good, you know? And there's so much more to say about all this, like why your art is important and why like you need to put it out there and all that stuff. But ultimately, if I can inspire anybody today, and just like, maybe you need the permission from me, like here's the permission to go after your dreams, go, just have the audacity. Don't wait for anybody. God, you're gonna have everybody around you rolling their eyes saying like, here she goes again. And it just, like like when I think back on the joy that I've gotten to experience creating all of these things, it's like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for a 6-figure job. I wouldn't trade it for, you know, being CEO of some company. Like I could have worked my way up in business and, you know, probably been VP of something at, you know, this point or whatever. And it was never my journey. And then that's not to shame anybody whose journey that is, because that some people just love that shit. It's just not me. And it may not be you. And so that's why I just want to say, like, you know, I don't want to keep rambling, but like, if you need the permission, if you need the inspiration to just like go for it and just have the audacity to like put yourself out there, start showing your artwork. There's a woman that I follow on TikTok who like had the most simple little colored pencil drawings. And every day she'll show one and it's just a little, you know, and she just like lifts it up. There it is. She's gotten so good just because she keeps doing it. And that's like the thing too, is like art, especially, is just a freaking skill. Like all of these things are skills. And yes, you've got little nuggets coming out of the womb, being able to play, you know, Bach at the age of 3, whatever. Like, yes, there are people that have those tendencies. I definitely have creative tendencies, but art is a skill and it can be learned, and it just requires the courage to have the audacity to put yourselves out there. And truly, it's just a question of, am I willing to fail miserably in front of people again and again and again? Because those are the people that are most successful. Anyway, if you liked this, follow along. I would love to chat some more. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think about what you are thinking about getting up to. Post your work. I don't know. Like, can you do that on TikTok or on YouTube? Where am I? Help, get me out of here. But yeah, let me know in the comments who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff, and follow along. And my website and all the stuff will be down below, you know. Okay, bye guys.